doing the least you can for a cause. And now
A fan confronts Justin Bieber.
And today we're going to see, what do people think about Justin Bieber? What do you guys think about Justin Bieber?
I love Justin Bieber.
A surprise kiss at the Picard premiere. We play our game, Shag, Marry, Chop.
One who you'll shag, one you'll marry.
It's all happening out tonight. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Special guest host, Ron Burdesky. With your host, lifestyle expert Napoleon Plays. Trans activist Aaron Phoenix. Reality TV star Chef Josie. DJ Diva Power Infinity. And our moderator, Al Ferguson. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, good evening, America. We are excited to be here for a Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. That means It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay TV show. And we're here, broadcasting right in the heart of Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I'm back.
Yeah, you are. Look at you.
Josie did a great job last week. Thank you very much.
Trying to hold down the fort.
And what's your name again?
My name is Al. I'm your host.
and you're
Power Infinity.
Yeah. Power Infinity. And this is going to be musical chairs all evening tonight. So we're very excited to bring you another episode of It's Happening Out. We have a great jam-packed show tonight. We want to begin by telling you that we want to ask you to share us. And Napoleon, tell us about like and share.
We want to make sure that all of you, all of your friends, and everybody that is watching this event shares it. So like, subscribe on YouTube, on Facebook, and also share with a watch party. We've got a great video prepared. Watch this.
When viewing our live show in your app, please click share. After clicking share, your screen should change and you can then click watch party. On the next screen, you can write text to your viewing audience and then click start watch party. You've done it. Enjoy your party.
Yeah, and of course, we're broadcasting tonight live from the World AIDS Museum here in Wilton Manors, the gayest place on planet Earth.
Look.
Yes. And of course, host of It's Happening Out, stay at the Best Restaurant off of I-95 and Commercial Boulevard. Of course, where they treat us like royalties. So when you guys are in Fort Lauderdale, make sure to check them out.
This is the first Wednesday night of It's Happening Out in 2020 where the whole family has been back together.
Oh,
it's kind of a celebration. So I'm very excited
I'm
to...
sure it'll be just like a Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. Oh, is it going to be one of those kind of evenings? All right, we'll see.
I'm not drunk.
Red,
Okay.
blue, Adele.
Right? We have, speaking of red and blue, we'll talk about that in a little bit, America. We have a guest at our table, Ron Brunensky. Thank
He's not
you.
Jewish. He doesn't like minorities. Don't worry about
We're
it.
here in South Florida, and you're a Jewish boy, right?
Yes, you have
So
the
you
Jews
can get
segregated.
away
You have the
doing
Jews
that,
segregated over here, and then the
Right.
rest of you.
Okay, all right.
I see how you are, white man.
Ron is a
Okay.
Republican political analyst. We're in Broward County, Fort Lauderdale, the gayest place. He's in Dade County, Miami-Dade County. Welcome, Ron.
It's my pleasure to be here, and I want you to know that I was not stopped requesting a visa or a passport to come into Broward.
Wait, you do know what's going on at the southern border, right?
Yes, we do. We do.
Okay.
Trump supporter, all those things.
Well, let's get started. It's Happening Out. We are part of the Happening Out television network. Oh my goodness! A
lot of great
we
content.
have 3 shows that broadcast a week. On Monday night, we want to tell you
We've been moving on up.
to the east side, and And we broadcast, we're in the middle of the third week of Q News Tonight. We affectionately say out of the closet and into the headlines. And we're broadcasting a daily live evening gay news show. Evening news show. It's still a mouthful for me, and we're reporting all of the news of the day. And we hope you tune in 7 p.m. Eastern Standard daily. And then on Monday night, we broadcast Happening.Fun. And it's in all of these guys' area of fun, entertaining things to do. And we broadcast that Monday nights at 8 o'clock. And, of course, you're watching the most popular live gay TV show in the world. It's Happening Out. We're The View on ABC. Gay people. So, that's what we are. Are we ready to get started now?
Dial.
Let's get started. We start, since the family's all back together, we always start with the meme of the week. And we're getting ready to show you the meme of the week. Our production staff watches the memes. I haven't even seen it. What is our meme of the week? And now, see, I have they kept this from me, and this was not a funny joke. America, the reason why production is showing this is I have just come back from the Aspen Gay Ski Week.
That was shade.
And when Power Infinity says that's shade, he means that's damn well shade. I had a significant fall at Aspen Gay Ski Week last week. First off, 5,000 men.
And no more sympathy. No more sympathy for
Is that why
Al.
you fell? You weren't paying attention?
I had a very significant fall. In all seriousness, I have a spinal fracture as we speak. I hit my head, and to you, who always say, oh, there's nothing up there, it wouldn't make any difference anyway.
Maybe now you'll start to make sense.
I have blood on my brain as we speak. They helicoptered me out of Aspen to a level 1 trauma center in Denver. I was in a neuro ICU, and I have... I was going to say brain damage, but that's not the right word.
No, that's the right word.
That's the right way.
I have brain trauma. And so it's going to be an interesting couple of months. It's going to be a way back, but I thank you.
I would just like to share with you that this weekend, in all seriousness, this weekend, as I threw my event, throughout the night, so many people in Tampa kept coming up to me asking me how you were.
Oh, that's very,
Yeah,
very
a lot
sweet.
of everybody was concerned about you.
So you're trying to get out of this meme that you've just seen. Well, thank you.
Point the finger to production.
And,
Okay, that has
it's
nothing to do with
production's
us.
fault. All right.
By the way, they
Exactly
wouldn't let anyone at the table see it beforehand at all. They wanted that impact.
I see why now. All right, let's get into some news, and we call it Happening Now. That's our breaking news that we do, and of course we have a couple of big things in our breaking news. And our top breaking news, of course, is the same thing that we ended the last time all of the family was together, and that is impeachment. We had a day 2 of impeachment. We prepared this video about a summary of what's going on. Watch this.
I am struck by what we have heard from the President's counsel so far tonight. They complain about process, but they do not seriously contest any of the allegations against the President. They insist that the President has done nothing wrong, but they refuse to allow the evidence and hear from the witnesses. They will not permit the American people to hear from the witnesses. And they lie, and lie, and lie, and lie.
A lot of news going on in impeachment. We're in day 2 of what is going to be quite a year. Any thoughts about what we have been watching so far?
Strangely enough, I actually have been watching it on and off, but not really paying too much attention to it because I already know that how the whole thing is going to play out. I know what's going to happen. The Republicans are not going to remove him, and the Democrats are going to try to do their best to, to be on the right side of history. But I do have a question for Josie. Josie, a few weeks ago or a few months ago, when Al asked, do you think that the Republicans would remove him? And you, hope sprung eternal. And you said, yes, I believe that they're going to do the right thing, and blah, blah, blah. What do you think now?
Yeah, so, I'm glad you asked, Bauer. Today what I watched is with the opening statements, the Democrats are laying out the case to the American public. I think that we're getting an opportunity to see facts. And I'm happy that it wasn't a bunch of stories, but it's facts, and facts that were, presented with actual quotes right out of the horse's mouth. And I mean, we really saw how Donald Trump puts his foot in his mouth. If there's anything that is going to happen from this, I think that it's going to cause those Republicans who have a conscience to really need to dig deeper, because their constituents are going to hold them accountable right now. And I think it's going to be a responsible action for them to call those witnesses who can actually confirm or not what's
Unfortunately,
going on.
the only thing they're accountable for is the Russian money that's in all of the Republicans'
boy.
The
Oh, boy.
The problem that we're
Come on.
Hold on a moment. The problem
Come
that we're
on.
experiencing here is that both sides, and wait a minute for your point, please, because I do want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that both sides have stated they don't think he's going to be removed from office from here. Republicans and Democrats alike have stated this isn't going to amount to him being removed. He's being impeached. Congratulations. Nothing's going to happen of it. And that's what we see. Neither knows how we're going to get there, but that's what they've stated.
Ron, you're a Republican strategist
Yeah.
at the table. What do you think?
Well, I think nothing's going to happen. And I actually believe that you will see at least one or two Democrat senators voting with the president.
Defecting.
Absolutely. Not defecting, knowing that this is something that the Congress should have done better. Stop blaming the Senate. The ones who should have done the homework properly should have been in the Congress, not the U.S. Senate.
Okay, but
the Constitution is very clear. The House is the one who impeaches. The Senate is the one who holds the trial.
So I hear
and the evidence there was not there. It wasn't there from day one. And I want to tell you the other reason why. In our country, this is the third president that faces impeachment. You know what? America is too great of a nation, and at the end of the day, we care enough about our institutions that nobody's going to impeach him. We all know that.
Ron,
and I think at the end of the day, you're absolutely right.
Well, he is impeached.
You are. It's impeached. He's not going to be removed. But you're absolutely right.
Ron, let me...
On
let
the
me-
conscience. You have made a point, and excuse me with all respect, you made a point. It's going to create a conscience with those Republicans that we really care for the benefit of the nation. You're absolutely right. And I'm going to tell you what you're going to write about. It's going to make me more active and more concerned to be sure that America is represented properly. And you know what? I'm going to go out there and work harder to reelect our president.
Ron, let me zero in on one of the key points to what you just said. Help me understand it, and if I can understand it, America can. The House didn't have the ability to get to the standard that you concluded because the president would not allow the key personalities to testify. They would not release the documents. How could the House get to any other better conclusion when the president said absolutely there is going to be no sharing of information? Key players and subpoenas.
It seems that everybody forgets that the responsibility of the Senate and the House, Congress as a whole, is to legislate. We have had for the last, I would say, 50 years, a Senate and a Congress that do not legislate properly. They do not put us, the American people, first. They put their special interests first. I think that this is the reason why I believe many of us would like to see term limit in the senators.
Wait.
Well, first, I don't think you responded to Al's point. That's the first thing. And second, the responsibility of the Congress is not just to legislate; it is to provide a check and balance.
Thank you.
Which is exactly what they're doing right here and now.
We're supposed to be.
But I would really like to hear your.
I'm going to try one more
Well,
time.
that's what they're trying to do now.
They're not
I'm going to try one more
Thanks
time,
for
and
the
we're going to
president.
move
Block
out of breaking news on impeachment.
Ooh.
I completely hear your observation. Your observation at different times in the last 20 years could apply to the Republicans or the Democrats.
Absolutely.
My question is very specific.
Thank you.
How can the House be challenged to accomplish what they should do at this point in the Senate if the president specifically would not allow key players to testify or subpoenas would not be honored? How is it? And witnesses.
And by the way, that's very a very good point that you're making. But the fact of the matter is that the House did not allow the president to have an attorney there. Did not permit the proper rules of you're charging somebody. You're charging somebody without going ahead.
Ron,
it's equal.
Ron,
It isn't
yes,
equal.
I grant
All
it.
right?
I grant your observation.
Thank you.
But let's make this an academic conversation.
All right.
How could the House accomplish what the standard was that you set out if the President of the United States would not allow the witnesses to testify or honor the subpoenas? How would it be possible?
It would be possible if the House would have given the President the same right to go ahead and bring the whistleblower. All right? You were only playing one side of the game. Let's be fair. If both sides, and I'm not going to go towards Republican or Democrats, let's be fair here. Both sides have screwed this up for the American public. Both sides have not delivered what they should have, which is the concern of clearance, of being clear and being to the point.
I want to
and
move.
that's the responsibility. That's our fault, actually. We as Americans should begin a movement throughout our great nation demanding term limits.
Okay.
Because that's what it's creating.
Ron, we're going to move
Especially-
out of breaking news, and you hear all of the opinions at the table about what is going on that's led up to this moment and day 2. The only conclusion, regardless of who's responsible, who did it right, who did it wrong, everybody did it right, everybody did it wrong. The only way you're going to resolve getting whatever you want is to turn out for November 3rd, 2020.
Absolutely.
And vote. That is the only conclusion.
Right. And
I agree with that.
We
Throw
move
the bum out.
Yeah,
right.
vote Trump out of here
Okay.
so we can get
We
back to
move
the real work.
out of breaking news for impeachment and give you breaking news about what is happening. And I know every Republican watching our show, and we have so many. We really do.
Like at least 3, probably.
No.
No, more than
we have
that.
thousands.
Much
We've got,
more.
we've got
y'all.
broad support in here that
Right.
that topples like 10 or 15 people. So outside of here, I'm imagining that each of them has at least 10, 20, 30.
It's all right.
50.
You'll learn. I'm the dark comic relief.
No,
so
that's
it's
absolutely
okay.
fine. Absolutely fine.
All right.
And I'm
No
just
shade.
dark.
No shade.
And you're just dark. And I am dark-hearted. And in breaking news, we move to a second breaking news that is just breaking this afternoon. Tulsi Gabbard. She has sued Hillary Clinton for $50 million, claiming defamation over the Russian asset remark. We're breaking this here at It's Happening Out. What do y'all think about this? By the way, this is the first time in history that one active presidential candidate has sued another presidential candidate. Never happened in history. What do y'all think about this breaking news?
We continue on the road of the circus that is this whole entire.
It's part of the issue with us having a bipartisan election process or government, because now it's a he said or a she said she said. She's saying that Hillary Clinton defamed her character, and that by saying that Tulsi was the Russian representative, the Russian government
Russian
pick.
asset.
Yes, exactly, the Russian asset, the pick from the Russian government, that caused her $50 million in harm, as well as from other revenue. And my problem with this is not just that, the numbers, which might make out, might not make out, but why are we fighting each other internally? She's there because she feels that Hillary Clinton has personally attacked her because of the 2016 election, where Tulsi was on board with Bernie Sanders.
We're fighting each
My
other.
God, with all the problems that we're facing as a nation, as a people, we're now suing each other. We're now
Oh, we've been
dividing
suing
and
each other for a
attacking.
long time.
It doesn't matter that I support Trump.
He
Doesn't matter
sues
that
everyone.
I
He
want.
sues every person he
Excuse
comes
me.
in contact
Excuse
with.
me. We are again. Just because one does it, we have to stop. America, we've got to stop. We've got to sit down and talk and find our differences and try to build a better nation.
Well,
We will never get out of the
That's
dump
the
that we're in
for.
while we do not discuss.
You
But
know-
let me sue you. I'm suing you.
Well,
I'm suing you.
I
That's
find
nonsense.
it very,
It really is.
I find it very surprising that I actually agree with this man. But,
Wait. Hold on.
I'm going to make you mine.
My obligation as moderator is to draw a highlight or underline. You just said you're surprised that you're agreeing with the Republican strategy.
Yes,
Is that
yes.
what you just said? Okay.
Yes, I think that as probably the only one around this table that has been given not one, not two, but 3 cease and desist letters, and has been threatened to be sued on multiple occasions. I'm quite sure you guys
And the
know.
Secret Service knocking on your door.
Yeah,
Right,
having a conversation
and
with
that's the Secret
Howard
Service.
been
Not,
sued.
I feel a kind of way. I feel that we've come.
Do you
to-
read your social media?
I mean,
She reads on her
I'm always being
She
threatened
reads
to be
on her
sued,
social media.
and I just think that we have come to a certain point where now you can't even be read, right now, and then somebody's going to threaten to sue you. Look, you cannot sue somebody because you're insulted. You cannot sue somebody because you get offended.
Child,
You know-
you would have gotten a cease and desist years ago from me.
Who?
you.
From Al.
But I throw them right in the garbage, and has nobody ever stepped up to actually been
I
brave
just
enough
don't
to sue me.
understand how public.
Wait.
You know, I
wait.
think that it's really important to note here is that, I mean, this is so distracting. We're in the middle of an election year. Again, here we go with just distractions. Let's talk about the points, okay?
Right.
Let's talk about healthcare. Let's talk about how we're going to create a solution to end hunger. Let's go ahead and talk about how we're going to reform immigration. Why don't we talk about gun reform? Let's have that conversation.
Well,
I don't care if you're
seeing-
getting you're being called a Russian asset. Call me a Russian asset. I don't care.
You're a Russian asset. I didn't know what you were
You know,
doing.
you know, for that, you know, Trump can sue her for calling him Putin's puppet. I mean, she has said, you know, you could say what you want to say, and the question is Tulsi's feelings more important, her hurt feelings more important than somebody's freedom of speech and their right to express themselves. And
Yeah,
I would say no.
You know, if we
I
were
would
to
say
sue
no.
everybody who says stupid comments,
I-
the courts would actually
be-
collapse.
yeah, yeah.
And we wouldn't
collapse.
wouldn't be on air.
You know,
Can I
so,
sue-
you
can I
know,
sue
I'm
somebody
going to
for
tell you
every-
that I would sue everyone here.
America-
and you'll sue me. So
I'm
what's
gonna sue you
America,
if
we're
you don't
back.
finish the sentence.
We're back.
Aaron, what did you?
I'm going to sue you if you don't let me finish the sentence. You too, Al, just for fun. What we're seeing is, and that's another conversation about freedom of speech versus hurt feelings. This is more, to me, what we're seeing is the corporatism and the capitalism of the Democratic Party rearing its ugly head. You said that, you know, we're attacking each other internally. This, I firmly, honestly predict that this is going to be, this upcoming election, if Trump is reelected, it will be the end of the Democratic Party as we currently know it. Not that it will be the end of it, but it will be the end of its current form. And this is what we're seeing. This is why we have these what would otherwise be third-party candidates jumping into the ring. Hopefully, this circus will be enough of a distraction that Elizabeth Warren will have no problem getting the nomination, and we can all move forward.
And by the way, the Warren campaign just paid $1,000 to have that endorsement here.
No, that was a free endorsement.
I know.
That's called
Free.
Well, no,
I want
Al
to
got
wait.
the-
I want to end breaking news because we have focused on it. Except I want to give production a heads up in terms of taking a quick flash poll. Let's do a flash poll at the table. I'm going to ask you to say yes or no. Now, this is the first time the whole family has gotten back together in 2020, so yes or no. That's it. Ron, yes or no. That's it. My question is, when the moment Hillary Clinton heard that Gabbard had sued her for $50 million for defamation, was Hillary's first reaction the C word? Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No, she laughed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, can't be bothered.
Can't be bothered. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. All right. The majority of us think that Hillary laughed it off instantaneously. All right. We move out of breaking news. All right. We've gotten the impeachment out of the way. We've gotten Hillary out of the way. Andrew Brett, who had a big protest here in Wilton Manors this week. We've gotten all of last week,
and also can't be bothered.
And we've gotten all of the politics of that out of the way. What's the best antidote of that? That is to drink.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad with a spinal injury and a brain injury, now the drinking.
Bring on the yak.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's our game
Can
that
I
we
get a
call
coping mechanism over
I'd
here?
Swallow That. And we have a game where we're going to bring out shots. I'm going to ask tonight 5 questions, I'm told. I do not know what the questions are.
That helps.
They were kept from me. And so I'm going to learn at the same time you do. And if you agree, you take the shot. If you do not, you don't take the shot. And America, play right along with us. This is a fun game. It's the shot game called I'd Swallow That. We have a great performance bar here right down the street at Wilton Drive called Alexander's. And tonight... Johnson.
Brain.
Wow. Am I out of breath? Wait, America, I'm going to claim this.
Here we go.
XWVU.
Once again, America, we did tell you that his brain is damaged. So
Brain damage.
So no difference from every other
Oh
week.
my gosh, there's going to be so many memes.
It's
I
gonna
can
be.
see
You're gonna
them
milk
now.
this for a while. You can already feel it.
We're going to bring out our shots now, and Alexander, who normally is with us from Johnson's, is out of town. And your name again? David.
David.
Of course, I knew.
David. Fully clothed.
And everybody take a shot, and we're going to begin now. David, welcome to It's Happening Out. And this is going to be it's going to be fun. You got one for me.
Thank you.
Let's go to question number 1.
Woo.
I will never go on a blind date again.
Again. Oh.
Again, ruins it for me.
I'd swallow that. The lesbian at the table is the only one. Oh,
Well,
wait.
What about if you've never
The
gone on a blind
lesbian
date?
and the
period?
Republican. Well, then would
The
you
lesbian
go on
and the
a blind
Republican,
date?
huh?
I will
The
never.
lesbian and
I
the
will never go
Republican.
on a blind date.
Of course, you would never go on a blind date.
No, my mouth is just dry.
Oh, no. That's not playing the game.
I will go on a blind date all times of day because
I
I
would
love
never.
meeting new people, and I think that that's where you find some weird, spontaneous chemistry.
I read
Yeah,
a
but
note-
a blind date though, a blind date is like you don't even get a pick.
Exactly.
No pick. And I'm, sometimes I'll do something like, okay, I'll meet you at this restaurant, sit at the back bar, and create.
Josie,
this whole
life doesn't
thing.
give you the ability to be in control all the time, and I'm from the leather background. I understand sometimes
Honey,
you have
it
to go
does
with the
for me.
flow. Go with the flow. Improvise.
No, man.
Be a part of it.
Listen, I love the flow. And a matter of fact, I live in the flow, okay? But that's not what I'm talking about. Anyways, I don't need a blind date. I'm happily married.
Yeah.
There you
that's- Oh, by the way, every single person at this table except for me is in a relationship. So screw you, all people.
Excuse me,
You can't just out people,
No
without
one,
their permission.
please.
I can do
All right. Ron, you will never go on a blind date. Let's
Absolutely
assume you're not in a relationship. You wouldn't do
No.
it because you don't trust your friends.
No, because I don't trust me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put myself in a position that I can get myself embarrassed or in
Okay.
trouble.
Okay.
And most likely in trouble. and I think that's been my experience that you better choose, especially if you like certain things in sex, and
Hello.
you certainly don't want to be in the wrong place. You know what I'm saying?
The Jew and me was agreeing with that.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to our next question, David. We're going to call David back. Oh, David.
David's
you're looking.
Hey, child.
It's like a very rare event. We were in the
We love
30s
tattoos.
last night. The Convention and Visitors Bureau here in South Florida. I don't need one because I didn't take the last shot. David, something happened to your shirt. I don't know if you know that.
Production happened to it.
Our Idaho boy.
Evaporated. It disintegrated like Thanos.
All right, so I'd swallow that. Question number 2. I could hook up with a person dressed as a clown, and I'm going to look over here.
Say that one more time.
I
Preferably
could hook
Pennywise.
up with a person dressed like a
Wait,
clown.
please go to Aaron.
I said
Aaron?
preferably Pennywise. I mean,
Pennywise.
Yeah.
If you're
Ooh.
come on.
Oh wait.
From
no, I
It.
like it a little freaky.
Wait.
If you're gonna do it, go all
Which
the way.
version? When it was Tim Curry or the recent version?
The recent version,
Oh,
yeah.
because he's a
Sure.
god. His
And
body.
first off, that's
is insane.
Scarsdale, because under that clown makeup is one of the most beautiful men on the planet. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We agree
for
there.
Yeah, I'm not
I
afraid of
could,
clowns.
and I
And
have.
I have. I knew you were going to say that. Tell us with who.
What do you want? His name, rank, and
I
serial
know.
number?
Tell us about the
There
clown.
was a guy that I used to hook up with that he was an actual clown. That's what he did. He was a clown.
And ever in makeup?
And we've started where he's been in makeup, but he was hot and sexy, and the fun part was getting him out of makeup.
It's
Well,
not
yes.
much different than having
So
sex
it
with a drag
starts
queen.
with him in makeup, and it continues through the process of makeup.
So,
Yeah.
which of you? Which of you
I
was
want
in
to ask
makeup
one more
last?
question. In relation to his makeup, were you in makeup? Were you in performance then?
No. With me, there can only be one of us in clown makeup at a time.
Oh, it's okay. All right.
Not
I'm
doing
sorry.
that
That was my
direct
question.
circle.
It's okay.
Yeah, okay.
You got to
All
it.
right, I
I'm
wasn't
not
sure.
doing.
you
I'm
were-
not doing that do-si-do.
Yeah, okay. Anything else on hooking up with a clown or dressed as a clown?
You know, clowns have all sorts of fun toys. They have balloon animals. They have all sorts of fun things up their pocket. I think that they have a lot of pervertibles in their asset kit to play, and it's kind of like a dungeon. It's just a little bit more funhouse themed. So I'm all for it.
I love Napoleon.
starting
He can look at a flower and see a dungeon.
I was going to say, oh, the dirt outside, it's sexy, and we can do this with.
I can be attracted to paint drawing.
Let's move on
Don't
to
take him to a
question
Home
number
Depot.
3, which means that I'd swallow that. We got to call David back.
Woo!
David,
Hey.
now you're in very attractive shorts.
Let me turn around and see
David,
David.
you have a beautiful smile. You have.
I wasn't looking there,
I'm
Al.
not looking at your ass. I'm looking at your smile. All right.
How's it
I was
feel
not
to
at the smile.
Let's pass
Thank
out
you.
shots. And I'm
Thank
going to
you.
need one this time.
I like
because
the ink,
took it.
brother.
I'll grab it.
Yep.
There you are, Al.
I'm getting the bizarrest messages on this game. I'd swallow that. Question number 3. I know that, once again, I'm going to look over here,
Looking
not
right
at
at him.
anyone. I know that I am extra.
Oh, yeah.
Extra.
I need 2 of these. I'm extra.
Can we all just say, yeah,
All
we
right.
are?
Yeah.
All right, we all.
The piano melodies.
Let's start.
Grand.
Power, why are you extra?
Hello. That's a rhetorical question.
Curious, before any of you comment in any other way, like to do something like It's Happening Out, to be a host of this show, or do entertainment. All of you are in entertainment in one way or another. Is your personality that is attracted to do something like this show and to be in entertainment require your personal belief, I am more than? Is that a requirement?
That's a deep
I mean, that's a pretty deep question
Yeah,
for
that is a
this
deep
like
question. That is-
game.
But I
Al.
do have
Love it.
an
Come on,
answer
let's
to
go
it.
to that
For
dark
me,
place.
it's not being more than like being above somebody else. It's being more energetic. It's being more aware. It's being more focused on the things that I want. It's being more aware of sometimes I'm doing something that could be perceived as negative, but I have to do it because it's part of what my identity and my life journey is.
Oh,
I'm
my
aware
Lord.
I'm aware of everything going on, and that's why.
Oh my Lord! I
More.
never thought I would say this. I agree with you. 100%. I agree with you.
Oh God!
Oh God!
That joke gets old.
The apocalypse years, 2020.
I think that you have to access. You get to access the part of you that is, the performer. But when we talk about this more than, that's the problem with us as human beings. We're always thinking that we have to be more, better, or different than who we already are. When we show up, and this is what I tell all my friends: just be yourself. And when I started learning just to be myself, I don't have to be more than anything. I'm going to be myself.
I mean, when I did drag, I always told people that my drag persona was like a caricature of myself. It was all the best and maybe worst parts of me magnified. So it's maybe if you're being something more than, it's just more of yourself than your typical self.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
my answer to that is definitely yes, and I've been more than since I was a little child, and I admitted
We're
this
not
week-
talking about your penis size power.
No, that's a whole different show.
Child, by the way,
but
you finish your thought first.
But I admitted to this week in one of my group pages that I still have a childlike imagination still at 47 years old, and I live part of my world in a fantasy world. And so ever since I was a child, performing in front of the mirror, even before I started doing drag, but performing in front of the mirror when I would come home from church and imagining that I was a superstar since I was a child. And to this day, I still, in my mind, I live in this fantasy that no matter what I am or what I've achieved in my real life, I always imagine that I am more than. So in my mind, I am always extra because yes, I am more than where I am right now.
I'm going to leave that as the soundbite. That's a beautiful summary that I bet if we got into deep, virtually every single person at this table probably would say similar kinds of things.
Absolutely.
So we're going to continue with I Swallow That. Our fourth question, David David, purple is my favorite color. I'm
That's
loving.
pink, first off.
Hey, brain
so
injury.
much
Come on.
ink. So much
Blood
ink.
on the brain.
Yeah. We can only use that excuse so much.
Yeah. Are you? I can't tell that you're cold, dude.
They do look comfy.
All right, let's do some shots. And as I told you, I don't know our question. And we're now going to move to I Swallow That question number. This has to be a joke. I can't even do that for me.
I just learned how to do it, so okay. Let's see if I can
No.
do it again.
No. Make him do it.
Turn it
Okay,
on,
you
Command.
do it.
I have never done this before.
Can we just have everyone try to do that for a moment?
All right.
It's a hard sound.
And
All
that's
right,
the
I'll
gift
agree with
play
that
on
one.
loop.
The new game next
take
week.
a shot if you
If you enjoyed that.
Everybody
Have
do
to
that.
What was the question?
That's it. That's
Wait,
all
what?
it's for.
Oh,
At this table, I would be the winner of. Oh, that's another one.
That's
Oh.
next question.
Wait, what was the question for?
Have you ever done It's Happening Out before?
Usually you read the question. This time you just said,
That's
What's the question?
all. That's all it said.
Production set him up.
I watched
all
Al
right.
do that.
All right.
Production
All
set
right.
him up.
I just heard
David,
that.
David, I am so sorry that you've had to come and enjoy this tonight. I know you're happy you're here because of me, but everyone else, I'm really sorry. David, come on back, and let's do one final. I'd swallow that, and here's our final shot.
That's like quick phone
David,
changing skills.
thank you very much. I hear you're doing great. You're doing great. I hear it. So that's fantastic. Thanks for being with us here tonight as our iHo shot boy. All right,
David.
We're ready. I'd swallow that. Question number 5. Can you lean forward just a little? At this table, because I haven't seen these, I would be the winner of Never Have I Ever.
Wait, do you
Never
win when
have
you've
I
done
ever.
more things?
No, you
or-
win when you're the one who was the first out
Oh,
So how do you get out?
by being the most interesting person.
by being a slut.
No, it's by
No.
having the most
It could
interesting
be
life.
anything.
So if just run,
being the most
I don't even know how to
experienced.
Never Have I Ever is a game where you have, like, let's say 5 fingers, and then everyone goes around in a circle and says, "Never have I ever done gay porn." And then everyone else who's done it, because we're in Fort Lauderdale,
Have you
has
done
done
gay
it.
porn?
I'm not going to comment. So every time that anyone's
But
done
you
that,
put a
they
finger
put the finger
down,
down. And then the
so-
next person says, "Never have I ever smoked a blunt." And then you put it, like, so it moves around, and then eventually it gets more and
So
more.
if you
Yeah, not
have
problem.
done everything, you're
You win.
out.
You win. You're the first out.
Oh.
If you've done
I've-
everything in the world, you're the first out. Yeah. This is why my shot is gone.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't win unless we were just talking about sexual acts. So.
What,
Well, I've
have you
a
done
lot
gay
of my
porn?
life.
Oh, okay.
I love my gig here at It's Happening. It's so much fun. You wouldn't win this game, Aaron?
Oh, I took the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I consider this a challenge.
My question is different.
on.
Game on.
We clearly know when we go to Shag, Marry, Chop the kind of person that you select. But in this kind of challenge, in I'd Swallow That, it says, I broadly beyond the dark, mysterious, in all kinds of ways.
Sexual, magical, mystical, anything. As long as it's not athletic, I've probably done it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You're like
Beast-
encroaching.
Like the
on-
Beatles.
Dude, you're encroaching on my brand just a little
I'm
bit.
throwing
Well,
my
you
pen
know.
at you. Okay, that
We
was
we
unintentional.
we already had a bitch throwing.
Oh, wait.
around
Is
here,
that a
girl.
mic pack?
No.
It's not.
All right.
It's not.
I'm
All
still
right.
still
Wrong, good.
traumatized from the last bitch to do some shit.
Exactly. Merry Christmas.
We have
all
a
right.
support group after the show.
America, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up online. Mic pack throwing experience, cell phone. You'll
Experience the
enjoy
new
it.
ride.
It was not Ron. It was a different Republican. We promise.
All right. All right.
Me.
Ron, we're very happy you're here tonight.
Very much so.
Pleasure being here.
Now, you're Republican. Don't speak again for the rest of the show. All right. So that's our game. I'd Swallow That. Play along with us every week. We learn a lot about each other and the LGBT community
better or
when
for
we
worse.
do it. We're going to move into our next segment, which is Celebrity Hot Topics. And topic number 1 is Biebs. Justin Bieber confronts a fan who hates his new music video, Yummy. Let us show you a bit of that first. Watch this.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Justin Bieber today,
sorry.
and today we're going to see what do people think about Justin Bieber. What do you guys think about Justin Bieber?
Oh, so I love him. I wanted to marry him, honestly.
You want to
Yeah.
marry me? Have you met Justin?
I actually did meet Justin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wasn't very talkative, though.
Really?
Oh, my God!
What do you think about Justin Bieber?
Oh my god, love him, but Yummy is just like not it. It's
Yummy's-
not that good.
You don't
It's not it! Oh, my God! It's not it! Oh, my God! I'm gonna kill you! Oh, my God!
Oh my god, I love you. Oh my god. What the fuck? Okay, Yummy's good. I got that yummy.
Yeah, yummy.
Okay, Biebs is out there. What do y'all think about what happened there in terms of the fan?
Well, of course, for me, I like the video because of the food. After I watched it today, I didn't even know that he sang this song until I looked it up. But anyways, that's another point. Food connects us all, and that's it. In terms of calling out the young boy, sucker, that you got caught talking that smack. And that's what people do. They're always hating on celebrities, and one day they're in the back seat.
Yeah, but that was cute though. That was real cutesy.
I hate the video. I hate the song.
I can't.
Bieber's coming for you next. Then.
As a matter of fact, Justin, come on up.
Please do. I mean, I think I'm from Baltimore. I think you look like from the area that was described in American Dad as being the place that Krampus comes from, the anti-Santa Claus. It looks like that's where you're from, but you're still very sexy. I will happily do it.
I'm curious to my observation.
I'm the horny one.
How many of you have actually seen the full video?
I have.
Ain't seen a bit of it.
I mean, I
just hate the name.
You've seen it. Did you like it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's food everywhere, and it was fine for me.
Did you like the song?
I mean, it's okay, Yeah.
No, I did not like it.
You didn't. I didn't either.
No.
And I'm a little concerned because Ron and I are both boomers, and I know there's all kinds of you out in the dark reading me right now. Of course, you won't like Justin Bieber. That is not true. My circle of friends are constantly impressed of how much music knowledge I have because I listen to all kinds of music. I do.
Yep.
Okay, boomer.
But seriously, I it's true. I'm being honest about it. The song is just not very good. It just
all right.
There's some people that no matter what somebody puts out, they can put out like literally, dog shit, and people will still clamor to the song and say, "Oh, it's the best thing ever."
Kanye.
My philosophy is I celebrate the art, not the artist.
Yeah.
And if
I
if
think
the
it's time
art,
for a power remix.
If the art is good, I'm going to celebrate it. And if it's not good, I'm just going to say it's not good.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move into a second celebrity hot topic tonight, something that is super interesting. That is Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. They smooched at the Picard opening.
I love
this.
Everybody's first favorite.
I love this story.
Look, oh my goodness, didn't this warm your heart? Yes. What did y'all think about, first off, are there any sci-fi geeks at the table?
Oh, of course.
Wait, I'm curious now.
The whole table.
Star Trek fans at the table? Star Trek fans?
Yeah.
So from old school Star Trek, William Shatner Star Trek.
Yes.
Well, let me break a little news. America, you may not have seen this yet because it's breaking. All of the geeks here at the table, I am one of them. I built all of the models as I was a kid from the Kirk era. Today, Patrick Stewart was on The View, and it was a surprise.
Oh.
And he came on to The View, and they're interviewing him about the new series. And then he goes, and actually, the reason I'm really here is because I have been asked by the production company for season 2, which has already been greenlighted, to come to The View and say we want to extend an invitation, and turned to Whoopi Goldberg and said, we're inviting you to be in the cast for season 2 and reinstitute your Guinan character. And she teared up, and you must go to The View and watch.
Oh, wow.
It is beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. What do y'all think about Patrick Stewart and McKellen's kiss here?
I thought it was the most lovely thing, especially that they've been friends for so long. They're like lifelong friends, and they've been friends since, I believe, drama school. And I mean, it would be a little weird because I'm not into kissing my friends like that.
I was gonna say,
but it's just the cutest thing, and it was supposed to be like a faux proposal.
Yeah.
So it was just the cutest thing.
it's a bromance.
Yeah, it really was.
Unfortunately,
America, we can't show you the video because it's been tied down so tightly. They would pull it off the air if we showed it to you. But you should go to YouTube and watch.
For those of you that don't know, they've both been in separate versions of Macbeth. They've both been in Waiting for Godot, a theater classic, which is an existential thought of people waiting for God. They were in that together as a pair. They were brilliant. They're obviously Magneto and Professor X. These two have a chemistry that doesn't exist between most people on camera.
Yeah.
And what's so beautiful about it is that Ian McKellen is LGBTQ. He's gay. He self-identifies identified. But Patrick Stewart is just an ally.
Yeah.
And yet they understand their relationship, their friendship, their connection so well that they can just express that spirit of love without it having to be something vulgar. And that's what I love about this moment, because Patrick and Ian are both just embracing humanity. It has nothing to do with sex.
Absolutely beautiful observation. One last question that I want to ask you about this moment. What do y'all think about their age? In their 70s, Patrick Stewart has a reboot at his age. What do y'all think about that? Because America is so young, youth-centric.
When I saw them kiss, it reminds me that loving somebody, caring about somebody, sexually or non-sexually, age has nothing to do with it. And I think that inspired those baby boomers who think that, oh, I'm too old to kiss or to come out or whatever. I think that's just beautiful. I think it's time for America not to realize that only beauty is while you're young. I think it's absolutely gorgeous to see that. Two friends, one heterosexual, one homosexual, but it was all about, you know what, I care for you. How many times have we stopped ourselves of showing our love towards another person because of what the world thinks, or, oh, he's too old. You know what? I think that's a beautiful message.
Another beautiful soundbite, and please allow me to get a plug in. We are the most popular live gay TV show in the world. We have an obligation at this moment to talk about senior issues in the LGBT community, and Patrick Stewart allows us to bring that to your attention. There is an organization in the United States called SAGE, and SAGE is an organization that steps up for the LGBT community for older LGBT community members. Very, very important to support them because we are self-obsessed in terms of age, no question about it. And SAGE steps up and says basically the same soundbite that you gave. You're vital until you're no longer here. And so you deserve to be vital, and we respect your age, and that's what we respect.
Hopefully with some health care, we can all live as long as
Right. All right. Let's move out of our... that was... I just let it on that table. I'll leave that as a mic drop. Let's move out of our celebrity hot topics and into our best thing of the week. Again, something else I haven't seen. We're getting... each week, we show you something that is lighthearted that we think is great for all of us, first and foremost, our viewers and the LGBT community. This is called Pajama Culture. Couture. No, I'm sorry, Pajama Couture. Watch this. All right, what do y'all think about Pajama Couture?
I love the gender queerness of that whole video. It's beautiful.
It was very queer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Comfortable.
Let's move into an opportunity to talk about some topical, emotional, inspirational news, whatever it is that you want to say, in a segment that we do called What's on Your Mind. And we turn to each of our hosts and give them a little bit of time, about 30 seconds, to tell us what is currently on their mind. And I'm very curious because I have absolutely no idea, America, what these guys and girls are getting ready to say. Who wants to start? What's on your mind? Somebody jump in.
Don't everybody jump at once.
Aaron, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, we may as well start with the dark place so we can only go up from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, unfortunately, what's on my mind is kind of a dark place thing. At least 6 states this week, at the end of their beginning, whatever it is, of their legislative session, introduced anti-LGBT or specifically anti-transgender bills that would block trans kids from accessing healthcare. And it's being really sensationalized as, you know, trying to stop parents from mutilating their children, which is not at all what trans kids' healthcare is about. And unfortunately, I think it's going to start a whole machine of misunderstandings that are just going to hurt the trans community more.
We're going to have to do a segment and report on that. We talked about that earlier. Thank you. Next person, what's on your mind? Somebody jump.
Well, for me, it's gratitude. This week was a little bit challenging. I had friends in from out of town who it could have started, dark, and she got robbed, but we recovered. Yay, there are good people in the world. And it just reminded me how important it is to acknowledge the people in your lives. I've had friends in my life for so long who are my friends, my ride or die. I'm going to New York tomorrow to go and celebrate my boy, Kevin Crawford, up in New York City. Happy birthday, man. And, 50 years. And I start to remember that here I am at this age. I'm 45 years old and my friends are turning 50. Where did the time go? So I'm just grateful for the experiences we've had together. I'm grateful for the memories. I'm grateful for the growth we've all seen each other through. And I'm grateful for the hope that we get to create together.
Very nice. Ron, tell us what's on your mind.
This is my second time in the show, and I'm going to tell you what I'm enjoying or it's on my mind. How grateful I am. How grateful we as a community should be. That we have so many different points of view, and yet I feel warm. I feel welcome. I hope that I'm warm towards you, and I welcome everybody. I think that's important. In my thoughts is, damn, with all these difficulties and all this fighting and disgusting things which are going on, I can sit around a table and say to you, you and I may not agree, but you know what? You're my sister. You're my sister. You're my brother. You're my brother. You're my brother. And that to me is special. I think that's really what's in my mind, that we as a community ought to be so goddamn proud that no matter what, we're one.
That's a nice challenge. Power, what's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind is I would just like to address some foolishness that's going on within my own party, the Democratic Party. Between what happened last week with Bernie and Elizabeth Warren, this week with Hillary Clinton versus Bernie, now the whole Tulsi, I just think that we need to stop the foolishness. I think that we need to remember that the mistakes of the past can be repeated, and they are at risk of being repeated, and we need to focus on what we need to focus on, which is an election, which is our issues, and which is our country, and stop the ridiculousness, because here we go again.
Nice challenge. And Napoleon, what's on your mind?
Well, many of you at home know that Al and I have a friction on camera. We're good friends. He's my.
We don't want to hear about the.
We are. Stop it eating into my time. We have 30 seconds, okay? And I'm trying to say this forwardly.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
And the point is, I respect you. I consider you an LGBTQ mentor, which is something that our community has been built upon for a very long time. I had a father. I had a very loving childhood, and I had a father that was sick. He had a stroke that was before I was born. My whole family told me that I never really knew who he was because of that. He had problems from psychosis to all sorts of things because of what was going on in his brain. And he had a good heart, and he was a good person, but he couldn't do a lot of things that he wanted to. When I was 10, I had to learn how to give him a tracheotomy just so he could live. And like I said, I had a great childhood. Mom, I'm sorry because I know you're watching, but that was a part of it. His health issues were a problem. And so this past week, when you've been going through all of this, I don't mean to take it from you, but it's terrified me. You've mentioned things going on with your brain. You've mentioned fluids. You've mentioned all sorts of stuff, and I appreciate that you've kept me a little bit distant. But it's been really hard.
Thank you very much. I wasn't going to say anything in this segment, but I will tell you what's on my mind is the same thing that I said on Q News tonight. When you have a catastrophic incident, I've had a catastrophic incident this week. No kidding.
Yeah, all jokes aside, yeah.
Yeah, all jokes aside, it was catastrophic. Yeah. It could have been a different conclusion, period. My friend Aaron Dar, who does Q News, was making jokes Monday night on Q News about me being out in Aspen and having the Sonny Bono moment. And it was a hilarious joke. Hilarious.
I know,
I love Aaron.
Kept on going. It was great.
And Aaron, you did a great job. However, it can happen. and it can happen at a flip of a switch. And I come back. I'm very happy to be here at It's Happening Out. I'm very happy to be here tonight at the first show of 2020, where all 5 of us are here back in the show together. I'm very happy to be here. Basically, I'm very happy to be here.
We're really happy to have you.
So your words are very kind. That's what's on my mind. And one other thing that relates to that, and I know all of you have expressed this in different ways. When you have a catastrophic or life-threatening event, either directly or with family or friend, etc., you learn who your friends are, and you learn who are not your friends. Not enemies. They're acquaintances, and they're different. Your friends are different than your acquaintances, and I've learned that this week. And great lesson for me.
I learned that when my brother died.
Yes, and I was thinking of you while I was thinking of that. Okay, that's what's on our mind. Thank you, America, for I've received thousands of messages, and I thank you very much. That's what's on our host mind this week. Now, we're going to play a new game, and we're going to play it for the first time the correct way. You did a great job again, Chef Josie, hosting. Improvisational. We're playing this new game called Saved by the Bell, and we want to talk about a lot of topical news things that are going on in the LGBT community and in news, but we only want to talk about them for 60 to 90 seconds. Now, America, I tell you, I frequently compare myself to P.T. Barnum and being a lion tamer. Welcome to the table of the lions, and they're here for a reason because they do such a great job at this. However, it's difficult to control the lions, and sometimes you get eaten. So, now we're going to play Saved by the Bell with a real bell. And this is what's going to happen. I'm going to tee up a topic, and I have absolutely no idea what anyone is going to say, and we're going to pay attention to our timing. And when we're ready in our short timing of the subject, I'm going to do this, and that's it. They're going to close their sentence, and we're going to move on. Does everybody agree first in buy-in on our rules?
For all the good that's going to do.
All right. That's what we're going to do. Let's see how this goes. It's called Saved by the Bell. By the way, y'all have all heard Saved by the Bell is coming back to television.
Yeah.
Yes.
With a trans lead.
I didn't
absolutely.
realize that would get you so excited.
I am such a nerd. I love Saved by the Bell, especially Mario Lopez's character, especially when he was doing
And he's going to
wrestling
be in it.
stuff. I know.
He and Jesse are going to be in it.
Yes,
Listen,
absolutely.
he lost me a while ago.
Okay. All right. Our timers in production, are we ready? Saved by the Bell, number 1. 11 countries in the world have already banned Apple TV's Little America, the story about the Arabic arrival in the United States. What do y'all think about it?
It is absolutely ridiculous that it is so hard for queer Arab people to be seen on television, and this story was banned in 10 Middle Eastern countries as well as one in Russia. And so for this to happen, a real story where a gay person is trying to seek asylum so he can be his free self in the U.S., it's crazy. I mean, they couldn't even get into the U.S. because the cast and crew were barred by Trump's administration from getting here.
Oh, here we go. Talk about Trump. Listen.
They had to move to Canada.
Come on.
No, that was actually what happened.
Don't bring Trump into this. But here's
that
the
was
reality.
part of the production.
The reality is that I believe that the Arab nations and Russia really want to suppress the LGBTQI community. And they'll do everything they can to do it because according to their faith or their beliefs, homosexuality is a sin.
And according to our country, they weren't able to film in the U.S., which is what they were trying to do, and they had to film in Canada. This is fact. They had to film in Canada because they couldn't film in the U.S. because of Trump's travel ban.
Come on.
All right.
You gotta get
Saved by the
attention.
Bell.
Right.
We've all agreed that we're going to follow our rules, and of course the.
Are we doing one, or are we doing like multiple things? Because that helps actually.
No, it only requires one. Okay. Saved by the Bell.
We'll see.
My topic 2. Missouri is introducing a bill criminalizing drag queen story hours. What do you think, quickly, in terms of specifically drag queens reading in a library?
I think it's absolutely disgusting. I think it's disgusting if we allow this law to pass that affects the transgender community. Okay, it's the beginning of going ahead, and also in the future, we can bring in more discrimination against other people based on religion, based on color of the skin, based on a lot of ethnicity.
Well, they do
I
like-
think we need to work together as a community both Republicans, Democrats, liberal, conservative, and stop this. This is nonsense.
Well,
That's
I'm
correct.
confused as to what you were saying was disgusting. Are you saying that the law was disgusting or the drag queen story?
No.
The barring of drag
the
queens
bar-
is
the-
disgusting.
Look, the fact of the matter is that you bar
drag
any
queens-
human being.
no, he's
it's
saying
absolutely
that
disgusting.
the
The law. Okay.
The law.
Okay.
No,
All
no,
right.
the
All right.
law.
All right. I was
The
going
law.
to get.
I don't know what time we're at, but it's an important thing to discuss because when LGBTQ youth cannot be a part of their community, it leads to more suicide. I know that there's a more eloquent way of stating that, but that's the problem right here. If this passes, then there will be people that die.
And
by
I'm going to be
LGBTQ.
going to Missouri, and I'm going to be marching, and I will be protesting. We cannot allow this types of law to occur in this country. And it'll start with Missouri, and God knows it's going to end up.
And
the rest of
I
the
definitely
country.
agree.
We cannot
I definitely
allow
agree.
it.
And also, I would just like to mention that there is a gay drag queen from California. Her name is Kitty Demure, who railed against Drag Queen Story Hour, saying that it is harming the gay community. I would just like to tell her, if she is watching, that though I would fight for her right to express herself, I think you're an idiot.
Yeah, you know, it's funny to me. I'm violating my own rule in terms of timing, but I'm thinking of you right now. I'm sitting here thinking about you sitting in the Lakeland Public Library reading a story to children and going, even if you wouldn't be during the day dressed like this, though maybe you would be. I just don't see what is inappropriate or what is causing the rage of people.
Well, what's causing the rage is that anything that is outside of the norms of heteronormative gender expression, whether it's gay or not, heteronormative gender expression is the expectation from kids and from adults. And when you go against that in any kind of way, even with art, maybe especially with art, it ruins, it like disturbs people's sensitivities. And we end up where we
getting
are.
very scary.
All right.
Now.
Let's move on. Saved by the Bell, my topic number 3. New Jersey has banned the gay panic murder defense.
It's not often I get to say that I'm celebrating my hometown or my home state of New Jersey, but it's about time. It's about time.
Does Florida have a gay panic defense?
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm not aware of it, but it doesn't mean that it can't be done, because until a legislature eliminates the ability to do it, it's possible.
It's
possible.
Clarify what that is versus stand your ground. If you think that somebody else is LGBTQ, then you have the right to essentially stand your ground. Is that law? That's correct?
Say that again?
Essentially, it's stand your ground, except if they're gay, and then you can do whatever the hell you want to hurt them, is how I interpret this.
Not necessarily. No.
Am I going too extreme?
No, yeah.
It basically is a way to use that defense to lessen your charges. If you kill someone because, I didn't know they were gay.
They were gay, or
So it's the opposite of a hate crime. I hate them, therefore I should have less penalty. Got it.
Something like that, yeah.
I was scared of them.
I was scared.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of this topic in New Jersey, it passed in the legislature unanimously.
Oh, great.
Unanimous vote.
I'm moving back, y'all.
Saved by the Bell, my question number 4. Caitlyn Jenner went to the Women's March, the National Women's March in Washington over the weekend to address trans murder of women of color. What do y'all think?
I'm not going
Frankly, she
first.
doesn't belong there. So, I mean, that's my opinion. She doesn't belong there.
You mean because she's not of color?
No, not because of that. Because of just everything that she stands for. I mean, you can't go and get on a stage at a women's march when you stand for what you stand for. It's like. To me personally, and this is my opinion, okay? You don't have to agree or disagree.
We have 90
with
seconds of
me.
trying to get to your opinion.
Okay, so then why don't we just stop and you go ahead and ask what you need to say?
I'm not trying to shut you up. I'm trying to get to your opinion.
This is all I'm saying. She doesn't belong there. Period.
But she shouldn't
trans.
be on a stage.
She's a trans woman. That's why I'm confused by what you're
It
saying.
has
I want to
nothing
hear
to do
it.
with her being a trans
You're talking
woman.
about the political
Her political
background.
come from her political beliefs, her perspective,
That she supported
everything
Trump,
she
you mean?
stands for in this life. She has no place on a stage at the Women's March.
Do you mean because she supported Trump in the past?
That's one of the reasons, and we could get deeper. But
what I
that's
want.
not
We have 90
necessary.
seconds, Aaron. I must come to you.
Well, and thank you, Josie, because, the deeper is the more important part. Yes, she supported Trump in the past. Yes, she's since denounced him, whatever. But Caitlyn Jenner comes from a place of severely deep privilege, and she has flexed that privilege all over the place when it comes to both the trans community and women and poor people and et cetera, et cetera. So while I appreciate the visibility or the effort or whatever, I can go on and on about Caitlyn Jenner and visibility. But basically, take a seat. Know when it's time to take a seat. Pass the mic on to somebody who has the credibility and isn't going to cause this kind of a reaction in our community.
And when you talk about privilege, I want to remind everybody the family that Caitlyn is in is worth more than $1 billion.
Well, she has a microphone.
We moved on to Saved by the Bell number 5. Black History. Power, I know you're going to be excited about this. Black History was made this week because a leading actor in a leading role won Best Actor at the Gay Porn Oscars. What do y'all think?
These were the Gay Vegas Nights.
Well, one,
Name of
gay
the awards.
porn Oscars, question mark. I need to do research, apparently.
Gay VNs. But there's
Well,
also a few others. There's straight up gay
I
awards.
don't know.
There's the Grabbies.
I get it. I just think it's kind of, yay, we're celebrating that this happened. It's a milestone. But also, wow, the bar is so low. I can't believe this is the first. And that is a reflection of our community. You brought it up a lot, Power, about how
Did you watch the Golden Globes?
No, I
You know,
didn't.
it's you.
Oh, sure. Any community. It's not just the gay community, but we value whiteness when it comes to beauty and sexiness. And this is a perfect example. It's taken us till 2020, really.
Can we
I think that congratulations, that's fine. But I think it's really sad that we're talking about porn while we still do not have the recognition of the African American and Hispanic Latino artists in main Hollywood. I'm talking about the Oscars.
Yeah,
I'm talking
except
about Tony.
this
That to
topic
me
is
bothers
about,
me.
okay, and I understand, gay porn. I'm giving you one last opportunity. Do you have anything to say about black in gay porn?
No, I just, congratulations to the child, whoever he may be. But I mean, it's a win for the whole black community because he did this. To me, that's a little bit.
Well, no, the win is that the fact that
I'm very excited that someone
ding it and then talk.
Gay porn
I'm
story
very
hour next
excited
after
that,
it's happening out.
Violating
that
the
we're
rules for
talking
you.
about gay
said what I
porn.
said.
I said what I said. Right. Now, you've taught me so well.
They
Thank
they
you.
removed
I
the
love Power
ethnicity
Infinity.
factor before, which is the real story.
All right, let's move on. Saved by the Bell, topic number 6. History is also made this week. The first LGBT coach in history is coming to the Super Bowl. Here in South Florida, Katie Sowers from the San Francisco 49ers. What do y'all think?
An inspiration. Absolutely an inspiration. I think to see her get to where she is and doing what she's doing is an inspiration to all.
As long as
It
it's not
doesn't
gay
matter
porn.
what it is, no matter what your beliefs are politically or socially, this is something that we ought to applaud. So for my part, congratulations. I love her.
You're saying
for
her being
doing
the
that.
first
I would
female and the
agree.
first LGBT
I-
coach
I-
to make
yeah,
the
I would
Super Bowl is
agree.
something to be
I would
proud of.
agree.
We
but
must
not-
be proud.
But not to take away from this moment at all. But I've said this before in the show, and I'm going to say it again. I cannot wait till the day comes where
We
this
don't
is
care.
where this is not even an issue.
Absolutely.
Where this is not even a thing. So it's a big thing because it's the first thing now, but hopefully it's the first of many, so that at certain points, going in the future, it won't even be something that.
Yeah.
But while that's true, we celebrate the first steps. Josie, you played football?
Yeah, so, as a former football player, I have to say this, it just inspires me. It's empowering. It lets every little girl know that they can be and do whatever they want. It shuts up so many voices out there who say women have no place in football. You see us on the fields in more way than the other. Now you see us on the coaching level. You see us as players. You see us on as anchors on the side of the field, on the sidelines. It is like, this is a magical moment for me. Go 49ers.
I want to say Super Bowl is here in South Florida in a couple of weeks. I'm desperately working on many friends in terms of tickets. But when I heard the announcement of the connection, I thought two things. First, it was interesting to me that the national media report on the historic nature of her being a woman and the LGBT aspect of her being a woman was almost ignored by the traditional media. And my second thought was, it was not long ago where there was big news about having a black quarterback. we don't even think about that now. So to your point, I think you can have hope in that this milestone has been crossed as a female and LGBT, and we will quickly get to the point of going, who cares?
I have a quick question. Maybe Josie can answer this. Joe, has there ever been a gay head coach that has gone to this level?
No.
And do you think
Not
that it
even
would
close.
Do you, really? So do you
Nora.
do you think because it's a woman, it's easier for her to have been the first as opposed to a man because it's such a men's sport that it wouldn't be as easy for a gay male to climb that ladder?
That's a great question, and there are. This is the thing, you see it with Aaron Hernandez. This guy, his name is Franz. There are gay players out there, and they are saying, I just show up and I play football. It has nothing to do with me being gay. When I get on the field, the coach only cares whether or not
you perform.
I can perform.
Okay, let's make that our last. We continue in Saved by the Bell Entertainment. Big news in the LGBT community. RuPaul announced that he is going to host Saturday Night Live. What do you all think?
I think that is wonderful news. I think that that's another milestone for us. And to be fair and balanced, RuPaul also did lose her show.
Talk show.
Her talk show.
They got like
but
million others.
This is a great way to make up for it.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about this.
agree. I think that we really need to, the LGBTQI community needs to realize that we started the Stonewall riots. It was because of transgender and drag queens fighting and demanding rights. So I think our community ought to be grateful for some of the leaderships and some of the roles that they have. I think she's an inspiration for the youth. I may not agree with her in so many things, but I think that it's time for us to recognize her work and her labor towards the transgender and towards the LGBT community.
I think what's so interesting about this
show, all we do is
I think what's so interesting about this is the fact that SNL, which is probably the most aware and internationally known political satire, is actually embracing this, because RuPaul, while we know her from Drag Race, while we know her from being in drag, is a politically active person, and I'm very curious to see what she will do in this episode to make it more known and her points of view more known to the populace.
I cannot even imagine. And to that point, an open invitation right now. I've already decided and formulated in my head, I want to have a watch party. I want to host a watch party someplace. I want us to make it a great experience for all of us.
And it's right before the Oscars.
And all right, Saved by the Bell. Topic number 8. Did you know that Australia wants you to come back now that that they are starting to get the fires under control? And the federal government of Australia, where did they reach out to the world first in what they want you to come to Australia to see? But the Sydney Gay Mardi Gras.
Bring them rainbow dollar.
What do y'all think about Australia's appeal to the world? Come see us at one of the biggest gay events in the world.
As somebody that has not only been there but has performed at their gay pride, their gay Mardi Gras.
Shameless.
Right? What's that big dome?
Yeah.
I have to say that Australia is so welcoming when it comes to their gay Mardi Gras. They do it up like no other city, and they make it a full city celebration from the minute you fly in. And I think that it's a real statement that the first community that they reach out to, not only to the world, but in terms of a people, is us. And they want to say, come one, come all, but this is what we want you to celebrate. That really says a lot about Australia. And it's a beautiful city with beautiful men. So yes, any excuse to go back will do.
I'm giving you a few more seconds.
The global community always markets to the gay community when they need to make up profit loss.
Money.
So
Say what?
just saying,
Money.
don't be too blinded by the smoke and mirrors, girl. I'm just saying.
I would go back if it was still on fire.
Well, the only thing I would have to say is money.
All right.
I'll give it.
I'll be a little more optimistic. First off, they could have reached out to another community. I think it's the federal.
With the disposable income that we have? Who?
Okay.
Where?
All right. So that is Saved by the Bell. We covered 8 topics in about 12 minutes. Interesting. We'll continue to experiment with this. We want to move into a topic tonight that is called slacktivism. and it's a word that is just sweeping America, is slacktivism hurting our LGBT cause? And what do y'all think about slacktivism? First off, let me give you a definition. Slacktivism is the practice of supporting a political or social cause by means such as social media or other online petitions characterized as involving very little effort or commitment, meaning you don't have to do a lot and feel good. What do y'all think about slacktivism?
I mean, who came up with this damn word? Okay, this is ridiculous.
Boomers that were shaming millennials came up with this as if I'm not. This isn't an attack on you. Calm down. I'm saying that sometimes in this current world we live in, maybe physically protesting in front of a building, as happens all the time, that doesn't breed any results. Hashtag NRA doesn't give a hell. Okay, well then when we have gun laws and actual gun control, then we can have this conversation again because it's amounted to nothing in my entire lifetime.
Yeah,
however,
maybe in gun laws and gun reform, you have a very valid point, but in the general context of activism in general, the reason that you have gay rights is because of marches in front of buildings.
That's true, but I haven't seen that be actually
Wait.
useful in the last 2 decades.
I haven't seen you at a march in the past 2 decades.
Please allow me to interrupt a
there.
moment and refine our conversation just a little. Slacktivism is more focused than your Stonewall observation, which is I completely understand. This is a more nuanced form of activism that says you don't have to do a whole lot because you can sit in your dark in your bedroom. The joke. The baby boomer attack on millennials, completely heard. You can sit in your bedroom and do very little and be an activist.
Yeah, they call it being a keyboard warrior.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what this is talking about.
Well,
and
and
is it harming our causes?
Sure. In a lot of ways, absolutely, I think it is. And I think a lot of people take up causes that they don't necessarily need to so aggressively take up when they are online and they're behind that screen. At the same time, let's be careful not to wander into an ableist kind of a mindset here. Because not all heroes wear capes and not all activists march. There are many different ways to be an activist, and there are many different ways to get...
Absolutely.
Activism means to get people activated, to get them fired up and involved. You can do that in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, this is why I'm on the fence with the whole slacktivism thing, which I've never heard that term before. But, on the one hand, I really don't appreciate people that all they can do is sit there and tap on keys. But on the other hand, like Aaron said, every little bit counts when it comes to activism, even if it means rallying your community. I mean, listen, these days, all you have to do is do the minimal, and you can still get dick. Right?
Yeah.
So, and it still gets done. So if you do the minimum and it's still getting done, it's still getting done.
Right.
I just think that if you're not actually committed to the cause that you are activating, then really that to me is slacktivism.
Please allow me, hold on just one sec. Allow me to provide an exclamation point to the observation you just made. Wikipedia already has extensive explanation on this. Let me tell you what Wikipedia is summarizing. Slacktivism is a pejorative word of the word slacker and activism. Now remember, slacker is a laziness term. Pejorative term for feel-good measures in support of an issue or social cause. Slacktivism is showing support of a cause with the main purpose of boosting the ego of the participant, not the cause.
Also known as performative allyship. You can be an ally, and it's just a performance. It's just a way to look like you're an ally. It's a Caitlyn Jenner talking at the Women's March kind of.
Man, if you don't have any skin in the game, then whatever. And like Aaron said, this is just us being able to enable a whole entire segment of our society who is, what are they doing? I'm going to leave it at that. But we can't even allow this. We can't. I'm not going to use the word. I'm not going to acknowledge anyone who says they're, I don't even know, what's the verb for this? Slacktivated? I don't know. What is that?
I believe a true activist is blood, sweat, and tears. And I think that a true activist is he or she who stands up and said, I am going to stand and protest. That's the sweat. I may be hurt by somebody throwing a rock or something. That's my blood. Okay? And the tears of knowing of joy or seeing defeat. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's what makes an activist. To sit in a little room, and I agree with you, type, oh, I'm doing something, it's great. But, sweetheart, it's like saying this is how you prepare a good empanada. All right? A good dinner. Look, it's nothing. You've got to go. Do it, you got to eat it and enjoy it. Then you know what you're doing. So to me, I really think that what they're doing is an excuse because I really, with all due respect, I think you don't really care because you're not willing to put the blood, sweat, and tears that an activist needs to have.
Very interesting. I'm going to close up the topic of conversation, but I'm going to finish with you, Napoleon.
Thank you. I think that we're all being a little bit closed-minded as to where we're actually at in 2020. Right now, we're on a digital show where we are being activists right now. So for any of you to say that being on air, on camera, and being on the internet is not helpful, well, that's bullshit because you all agreed to be here. So first of all, let me call you all out on that. But secondly...
You ain't calling me out on shit.
You're calling me out.
You're calling me out on shit.
Quiet, you all spoke. I shut my mouth for a while. Quiet, you all spoke. The problem here is that what we're having is that we're not experiencing what the reality is today. A lot of how people interact in social media, in socialism, not socialism, but in social interaction in general. Yeah, in social interaction in general is not in person. It's digital, and maybe there are all sorts of problems that go along with that. And I'll agree with those points of view. However, that if that's the way that change can happen, if that's the way that people can have a voice, there are blood, sweat, and tears that happen from that. I promise you, that might be the best that somebody can do. Maybe the first step. Maybe that's all they can physically do. But that is a step, and that gives more people a
We
platform
forget
that
there
they
are
didn't have
human
before.
people behind those keyboards. Those digital words are real people typing them.
I apologize. I'm going to close the topic, but interesting to me in this, I did not select this. Production selected this topic. One of the things that I want to bullet point out as we explore this, because it's so important, there were many different points of view at this table of support and rejection. Especially interesting to me is power at one end of the spectrum is very active in voting, registration, and get out the vote drive. I suspect, and I know in terms of Ron's soundbite, in terms of blood, sweat, and tears, he's doing the exact same thing, likely very often in opposite of your efforts. That is not slacktivism. And one of the things that I think is interesting that we've got to continue to explore is I am very concerned that these definitions of slacktivism is what may elect your candidate or not elect your candidate, because we're going to take the same approach of thinking we've done something worthwhile, except we didn't take the extra step to register to vote and vote. So that's what comes out of this conversation that I think is very important.
I can't let this segment go without saying this because Napoleon said he was calling us out, and I said that you ain't calling me out. Please. What I said very clearly was that if all you're doing is tapping on keys and you're not committing to anything else, if all you can do is tap on keys and that's all you can do, to me that's not slacktivism. But if you can do more and you're just afraid to, or you don't have the guts or the commitment to do, then yes, that's slacktivism to me. Okay. My first rally was at Aaron's. My first time protesting was at a rally that Aaron put together. And for me, I was very proud of that. And I was very concerned that all I was doing was slacktivating.
Yeah.
So that's why I went out and I
We've created a new word. Thank you for that.
You get
wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm
vote.
sorry, Ron, I can't. We're going to move out of the topic. But again, I repeat the topic. Is slacktivism hurting our cause in the LGBT community? Lots to unpack in coming weeks and months on that subject. Finally, we're going to end the show tonight at It's Happening Out with a game, and a game that we love very much. It's called Shag, Marry, Chop. And we are going to play the game that has basically had the Secret Service knock on Power's door. I can never say that enough, because being able to say you're in Facebook jail and the Secret Service has knocked on your door.
And I feel like both were your fault, Al.
I think maybe both of those were my fault. Yes.
Hashtag white privilege.
All right. Right. Exactly. So play along with us, America. This is a fun game. You know how it works. Shag, we had to change the word to get this through. Marry, and then chop. We had to do that because we can't use the word kill in the combination of games, especially when you use initials DT.
Hashtag
All right.
rights.
So we're playing Shag, Marry, Chop, and tonight we are playing with Catwomen.
Sounds good to me.
Catwoman. And we begin with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh my God.
Oh my.
Iconic.
And then we go to Halle Berry.
Oh, damn.
It's coming up.
Oh my God.
I'm gay and I like that. And then we finish with the classic champagne toast of Eartha Kitt.
Oh, she was fierce.
Perfect. I can't even do what she can do. All right, so let's play Shag, Marry, Chop. Who wants to jump right in? Who's going to shag first?
Oh my God.
Napoleon, I want to
All
start with you.
Okay,
You're
can-
the gayest
you
person
can-
at this table.
Fine. I don't care what you have to say to me as an insult, even if I don't take it as one. I'm going to say, because I mean, I might be gay, but really my sexuality is about being oriented toward kink, and I'm going to stop looking at the camera right now, because what I'm really interested in is the way that people can actually connect about their truths, and that's why I do love fetish. It's why I do love kink. And
the
oh my
leather.
God, Halle Berry in this role, and also her ability to just like take the pros and cons of her career. She got an Oscar right before this role, and then after this she got whatever the negative
Razzie.
a Razzie, thank you. And she was there to accept the award, and she's here in
That's
leather
petty.
with a whip. Oh my God! So she's gonna have to be my Mary. I know Shaggy
Dude,
first.
you're really getting worked up here.
I might be a little bit hard right now because honestly, I would marry Halle Berry for that recurrence. She's
All right,
really.
so
So my shag.
Shag.
So I'm gonna say Shag is Eartha Kitt because that is sex on a whatever. I don't know what phrase it is. Eartha Kitt in that role is hella sexy. She's much sexier than Adam West in that for sure. My Mary is gonna be Halle Berry because
We heard.
oh God. And unfortunately, I'm chopping Michelle Pfeiffer. She's good in it, but
I know
gosh.
that's painful, isn't it? All right, who's next?
Me. I know exactly this time who I'm going to shag, marry, and chop.
All right.
So I'm going to shag Eartha Kitt. Have to shag Eartha Kitt, the original. I am going to marry Michelle Pfeiffer. That was a legendary role. She looked absolutely amazing. To this day, when drag queens emulate that look, the Catwoman look, it's always her.
Yes.
And Halle Berry in that movie was dog shit for a cat. She got to go. She gets the motherfucking chop.
Oh, done. Who's next?
Yeah.
Ron, who are you shagging?
Actually, I agree with you. I can't believe it. I would marry.
Good night, America.
Michelle,
And
I
that's
would.
the end of it
Beautiful.
happening
I
out.
think
We've
she's
done everything
sexy.
we need to do.
Her costume really. Okay, I'm gonna have fun tonight. Okay, I just like that. I just like. Oh, there's no other word.
Getting a little uncomfortable.
And Jack, definitely Eartha Kitt, because I think you're right. She was the original one. I think she was able to, when you see her, I felt that she was talking to me. You know, I've always felt that she is talking to me. She's mama. You know what I'm saying? She's the one who says, honey, get on your knees. And you know. Okay.
Again, I'm getting uncomfortable.
Can we end the show? I gotta like go meet Halle Berry
All
right
right.
now.
And who would you chop? Yeah, Halle. I wanted you to.
Sorry.
All right.
All right, I'm
wait.
jumping in right now, okay? All right. So I'm shagging Halle, okay? Like, I'll tell you that right now. That is like done already. And yeah, this doesn't need any explanation. Then I'm gonna marry Michelle Pfeiffer.
Really? There we go.
And because
Why?
she's,
Yeah.
she's
Why? Because.
well, yeah, well, first
My
off,
God.
because, you know,
Hello.
Michelle Pfeiffer has always been super sexy to me. And for a long time, I've always liked the older woman. And she
She got
is
that
like,
cougar thing
she's
now.
got that cougar classic, like, beauty going. And I love it. It's sophisticated. And when she put on the catsuit, I was like, wow,
Yes,
I didn't know you
ma'am.
had that. So, you know, she's got it all in and out of her catsuit. And then Eartha Kitt, I would have to chop her, and I'll just tell you why. Because she's way too much diva for me. I love her,
She's a diva.
but we would have to just be friends, girl.
Yeah.
I've watched. She's dead.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
I've watched many videos. She was definitely a diva.
She's a diva girl.
And
Yeah, she
Aaron, tell us, who are you
okay,
shagging?
so I'm shagging Halle Berry. There's again, like I
'Cause-
said,
yeah, 'cause
no
it's hard.
explanation whatsoever.
Because it's Halle Berry.
Not even because it's Halle Berry. You know, I'd rather have her at Storm, to be perfectly honest. Just saying. But I'm marrying Eartha Kitt for the same reason you're marrying Michelle, because Eartha Kitt has that cougar swag, and oh man, for me that's. Just look at her, like she takes over a scene and like
I have to wait.
commands over.
I'm only interrupting you a second. America, I wish you could be sitting at this table because this is a rare moment. I've played Shag, Marry, Chop now 60, 70 times with these hosts. there is energy at the table at this game, and we have had so many naked men in different games. We bring on these three beautiful women, and there's all this vibrating energy.
I'll tell you why. It's because we've never had fetish-oriented leather men on here. Let's get that up because this is brilliant.
That's a lie.
Let's just do that right now.
All right. And Aaron,
we
I'm
did
sorry
that.
to
His
interrupt.
hard-on would break the glass.
So anyway, so back to my wedding with Eartha Kitt. It's going to be beautiful. It will be a diva affair, both of us. Y'all,
There'll be
all
lilies
excited.
or
Calla lilies.
Calla lilies.
And I'm gonna have to chop Michelle Pfeiffer. You know, the white person gets the lead all too many times.
Yeah.
I'm just
Excellent.
happy
All right.
for you, but
All right, America, that's our game, Shag, Marry, Chop. We play it every week at It's Happening Out. Apparently next week, production, we're going to have to find some leather fetish boys to see if we have the same reaction.
I thought you were gonna say we got to find lesbian hosts.
It's not Napoleon that we have to tantalize. It's everyone else because he's tantalized by the bell here.
Ooh, I'm Pavlovian. What can I say?
Okay, all right. So that brings an end to our first episode of It's Happening Out with all of the family back together.
Can we fact check though, Jared Curry? Can we run that back? Because I'm pretty sure that we were all together 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
All of us were here?
Dude,
Yes.
brain injury.
You bumped
Yes,
your brain.
understood.
It's all right. It's all right.
Say no
Erica,
more. Say no more.
I have a brain injury. Okay, all right. Stand corrected. Thank you. The honest Q helping me here, the honesty team. Before we end the show, we prepare for food. We're sitting here in the middle of the World AIDS Museum and Education Center on Wilton Drive in Wilton Manors and Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the gayest place on planet Earth, and one of the best places in America to have pizza is Jet's Pizza here in South Florida.
Yay.
And we bring it in. Oh, and he puts in front of Napoleon and I a cauliflower crust gluten-free
Get your
pizza.
germs away from it. We all got to share.
Exactly, we love it. You had a good holiday,
I
good
wasn't
year.
eating it
All right,
anyway.
I did. Yeah, I was in
Yeah.
Aspen. Had a great time.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
time.
Had a great time.
Thanks for asking. All right. So we thank Jet's Pizza for their participation at It's Happening Out. That brings an end to our show. We say goodnight to you, America. And as always, we do a special goodnight where all of our hosts can say goodnight. And tonight, I'm going to start with my friend, Chef Josie, who once again was my stand-in host last week when we went to Vegan.
And our ratings soared.
And
And
exactly 600,000 of you on average are watching.
You did a great job.
And you did a great job. And so,
I was
to
just
my
I was
friend,
just trying to make you proud, Papa.
you absolutely did. And so,
well, you know, for me, I just like to tell everyone who's watching out there in TV land, you matter in this conversation. We all matter, you know, as a community. This conversation matters, and it's just simply an invitation that you keep coming back to this table with us each and every week. And, yeah, stay at the table.
thank you.
Good night.
And my friend Power Infinity.
Well, good night, children. This is the show that's in the know. So keep coming right back for all the tea that affects all of us. See you guys next week.
And my friend Aaron Phoenix.
I want to say goodnight tonight to the kids. I realize there's not a lot of kids hopefully watching our show. It's a little too adult. But those of you out there who have kids or those of you out there who would have LGBTQ children in your life, just let them know that you're there for them. Let them know you support them, whether their parents do or not. Let them know that there's a brighter light out there at the other side of this tunnel, and that no matter what this administration or anybody in the future might do to try to stop them from being themselves, there's a community that is here waiting with open arms for you.
Thank you. And a new friend. I've had lunch before I went to Aspen, Ron Brunetsky.
Talking creates opportunity. Opportunity creates unity. Unity creates equality. Equality creates justice for all. We as a community need to remember that. We are one, and we must be one no matter what. We're together. We're brothers, sisters. That makes me proud of being member of the greatest community on the face of the earth.
Very nice. And my friend Napoleon Plays.
Everybody, you have watched us tonight play a plethora of games. We have had a lot of fun, and we've discussed a whole number of significant topics. You can have both. You can have fun, and you can go into the depth of the world. So please remember to play every day, every way, and embrace the world for what it is, just like we do here on It's Happening Out every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
I totally agree with that observation and all of your broad observations. America, we encourage you to stay with It's Happening Out. We're the most popular live gay TV show in the world. Woo. That only means we got to get better. Yeah. That's all that means. And we are trying very, very hard, our commitment in 2020 to sit in the middle of this iconic location of the World AIDS Museum and Education Center. I'm sitting at a table with so many different perspectives and viewpoints. And we want to prove, even in disagreement in the LGBTQ plus community, that we can do better than what we are watching. We can be better. And if you agree with that, we hope you share us with your friends and your family. We are here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. live, unscripted. If gay culture and gay community is important to you, this is where we're going to bring it to you. Look at everything we have talked about just tonight. If that's important to you, we invite you to join us back again next week at 8 o'clock. And remember, as always, if it's important to you, it's happening out. Good night, America.